Thank you very much, fellow Africans. And I want to say that I'm glad once again this afternoon to present to you our 34th episode of the Change for African campaign. So, therefore, fellow Africans, being on Thursday, as always, so we focus on our fourth pillar of the Change for African campaign, which is about the living standards of our people in Africa. And so, when we speak about living standards in Africa, it's a broader topic whereby we focus on very basic things, all the way from the state of security. Security affects very many living standards of security affects living standards for African people in terms of people are displaced. In terms when there's no security. We speak about healthcare facilities. And our healthcare facilities able to offer quality services to our people. We speak about education, facilities and services. Do we have an education that is up to standards? Our people are able to go to school. We speak about malnutrition. How is it? Our children safe in terms of we have very huge population that is malnourished in Africa. So those are some of the things we speak about. And so today, being on Thursday, and as with respect to our this week's area of focus, that is helping us to illustrate or exemplify our this week's episode is the Africa Agenda 2063. And today will be the very one aspiration to help us focus on today's episode. It's aspiration number 4 of the Africa Agenda 2063, the Africa one. The aspiration number 4 is a peaceful and secure Africa, whereby they want to silence the guns initiative, ending wars and conflict and terrorism across Africa. So this is the aspiration about the aspiration number 4 of the Africa Agenda 2063. And so, looking at this, indeed, it's a very good aspiration in terms of when you speak about peace. A peaceful Africa. It is a very important thing, because peace. As long as we have no peace, then it means that actually people are not resting. People are up and down. People are running away. People are supposed to be settled. People are supposed to be carrying on their operations. Their daily basis. But then, looking at many parts of Africa, still today, we still face that issue of peace and just affecting a huge population of Africa, because approximately 35 million Africans are displaced due to wars. In Africa. And annually, that is due to wars, and maybe we also have some issues of climate change, but we're speaking about climate change tomorrow. So, but wars play a very critical role, or it's a very dangerous thing in terms of the living standards, because wars make many African communities and people to be very poor, because they cannot be able to settle in one places to be able to carry out their operation. And so when you have these activities going on, activities of wars across Africa, it destabilizes the economy of many African regions, and that is what also what assists to the issues of poverty. High poverty rates in Africa are escalated when you have very rapid wars and here and there in Africa. Looking at DRC, one of the very good examples we always be using, looking at the wars in eastern DRC, looking at Sudan, looking at places like Nigeria. We have been having wars, being undertaken by some groups, that are just trying to fire these people from where they're supposed to be or in their region. So wars is a very devastating thing when it comes about the living standards, because it really destabilizes people. Because in the Sahelian regions, that means the region mostly in the west part of Africa, whereby we have 43% of the global terror-related cases in that region. And so it shows how. Looking at where we have wars, and then try and see how people are living here, try and see the state of how people live in these regions, it is very devastating. Indeed, wars is a very disheartening thing that it was a good aspiration, that was adopted in 2015, one of the Africa Agenda 2063 aspirations. But then since then, what are some of the things that we have done, or what have we made steps in terms of being able to curb these activities, in many of the African countries? Because These are live things. These are things that are happening day and night in Africa and costing lives of people, increasing the rates of poverty in Africa. And so it is an issue that since it was adopted, it has to be adhered to. It has to be taken into consideration with the full seriousness and solemn in it, in making sure that they're able to secure many parts of Africa, in terms of those parts that are facing wars day and night. People are not able to just be settled in one region or in one place to be able to carry out the activities, because wars do really play a very negative role in terms of development. Because once we have wars, people are not able to settle. When people are not able to settle, they are not able to carry out trade, economical activities to be able to make them prosper in life. So it is a very huge problem that we experience from wars. So therefore, fellow Africans, I do not want to go past that, but then I'm saying that since it is an aspiration of the Africa Agenda 2063, let them continue to make sure they do whatever it takes in making sure that they curb this. And so for us as African youth, let us also take part in the initiatives of bringing peace wherever you are. Let us not do things that may give birth to issues that can make us not to be peaceful, or issues that can disrupt our peace, wherever we are. Let us advocate for that, and that is what we stand for, the Change for African campaign. So therefore, fellow Africans, have an interesting afternoon. Let's meet tomorrow. It's on Friday. We will be discussing our 5th pillar of the Change for African campaign, which is about the climate change that we face in Africa. Thank you. God bless you. Let's meet tomorrow.